Good morning. Today is August 7th, and it's Friday, 9:30 in the morning, something like that. Got my coffee. I put some pumpkin spice flavor in there. It's really a mix that I do of like pumpkin spices and demerara sugar, natural sugar. So I want to update you on my socks. I started my autumn acorn socks by Charlotte Stone as part of the Forever Autumn set or something like that. And they look more like grape clusters, but that's what they look like. And my last pair of socks with the leaves, I didn't do a patterning on the back after the first repeat because I was like, what's the point? And that was the first time I've ever done that, right, with colorwork socks. So when I started working on the back, you know, I started doing a repeat and I was like, screw it. So I just, you know, habits are habits. So I've got the patterning on both sides. And I'm gonna actually have to cut this fourth repeat short because if I keep going, I'm gonna have like 2 rows, not even before, maybe even 1 row before I have to really start to heel, because if I go past 7 inches, the sock is too big. So I usually like stop at 6 3/4 to 7 inches. I don't count rows, I just count by inches. So yeah, because I never know what my gauge is gonna be like, because it does fluctuate sometimes. So it's just better for me to do inches than to count rows. So anyway, I'm gonna cut it short because if you can see, it's got like the top of the acorn up here. So I'm gonna have to cut that part off, and I may even have to do like the top row up here just to have enough space to decrease to 62 stitches, do my heel, and then go back up to 72 stitches to finish the pattern. What I could have done, and I didn't think about it, was I could add more spacing in between each acorn set because there's rest rows, and I wasn't thinking about that because I have a short foot. It's wide, but it's short. At least according to my shoes, my feet are wide, but I have a short foot, so that's why it's 6 3/4 to 7 inches. So I could have like just done more rest rows and then just had 3 repeats, but I wasn't thinking about that, which is why I have to cut off the top of the acorn. But considering the location of where that will be, right where the top of the foot is, I don't think it's gonna be noticeable, and I don't think anybody's really gonna be paying attention anyway. So yeah, I'm working on that, and I gave my youngest his pair of socks today for his birthday. He seemed to like them. They're definitely his colors. It was black, white, gray, and stripes. It's kind of like metal, you know, and that he seems to be geared toward more of that stuff. So yeah, he seemed to like those. What else? I have not started anything else. I haven't really worked on the Babette blanket. I need to start telling you who. I'm gonna link all this stuff down in the description box because I never know the names of these people who design things off the top of my head. I got too much other stuff going on, so I don't think about that stuff. But I will try to put that information down in the description box because I have been lazy about that lately. Nobody has said anything, but in case there's that one random person who wants to know and go to the thing, I need to put it there. So I'm probably gonna work on that on the older videos today, and that way I can copy paste since I'm talking about the same things anyway when I upload this week's. So yeah, I don't think I have anything else that I'm doing today besides knitting and cleaning and housewifing and all that stuff. I do need to renew my license, so I gotta figure that out online. That's it. Alright, I'll see you in a few. I forgot to mention that if you saw my leaf socks, all I did was reverse the colors. So the main color now is, this is, most of this yarn is mine. So this is falling leaves, and then this purpley color here is rum raisin. And actually it just looks really purple on camera. Yeah, it's a little bit more brown than that. And this green, I pulled from Stash, and it is Deborah Norville. I think that's her name, yeah. And Woodsy Green. It's more on the lace side. It's really, yeah, you can see it's a 1. But I only need a little bit of it. I also forgot to mention that in the pattern, the acorn cap part, they're pearl stitches, and I tried that and I was like, oh, hell to the no. So I decided to make it stockinette, and it's fine. But yeah, my colors kind of made it look like grape clusters, but you know, that's also a harvest theme because I'm pretty sure that they harvest grapes in the fall anyway. Yeah, because ice wine, they harvest the rest of those grapes after the first frost. So that would make sense. Yeah, so either way, still fall themed. But I thought I'd mention that because I did not mention that earlier. Here's a pair of socks that I never talk about. These are socks that I carry in my bag that I take everywhere with me. I never show the socks that I work on in my bag that I take everywhere with me on the podcast, like ever, because they would take months. You'd be looking at the same pair of socks for like 5 or 6 months because I don't go out that often. But anyway, I am almost done. You see, here's the heel. I did my ribbed cuff that I would like to make a tutorial on, but I'm not happy with the process. It's not clean enough for me to show you guys how to do that. I'm sure it's not something I've come up with, but anyway, so I've got like another repeat of this color to do, and then green, and then the ribbing in the green. So I don't remember what color this is. I got this in a giveaway that I didn't even remember being a part of, but yeah, and it's supposed to be a Christmas colorway. And then this green is my is it peridot? Yeah, peridot that is actually kind of showing up pretty well on camera, but I could never get like a good photo of it, so I just decided not to sell it. But yeah, that's what's in this sock. So I'm gonna finish this up. I don't think I'll be done with it today, probably the next few days, but I'm gonna work on this, and then hopefully at that point I can cast on my son's socks that I was talking about in the last vlog. Oh boy. All right. Trying this one today. These are some local coffees, Nashville coffee companies. They have coffee shops. I think 8th and Rose has a coffee shop. Never been there. They've been around for a while. So this is my first time having 8th and Rose. Good morning. Today is August 8th. I've only been up for like a half an hour, so things aren't firing up here yet. My coffee's brewing right now. I want to take a second to completely deviate away from the topic of anything that goes on my channel and talk about menopause. It's been on my mind for a few days, and I want to talk about it because like 99% of the people on my channel are on YouTube now, so don't come at me in the comments, are female and at the age group where you're perimenopausal or just getting out of menopause. So if you're not in that age group or in that gender group and you still want to stay and listen to this topic, please do, because these are things that need to get talked about. And that's one of the things I want to talk about, is that these are things that need to get talked about. And one of the reasons why I thank God for social media, because if it wasn't for social media, I don't think that we would be where we are as far as the research, the very little research that we have as far as menopause is concerned. And I say this because, you know, the signs are showing that I am near the end of perimenopause. I don't know if I'm completely there yet, but I feel like I'm in my last year. I feel like it. So I'm thinking back to when my mom was going through all this stuff, right? She had us late, so she had me at 32. So I was there to see all of this. And I'm thinking back now, to when she was that age group, and I'm going, oh, I'm going through the same exact things. And I remember, women didn't talk about that stuff back then, and I really wish they did, because I think we would be better suited to know what we're walking into when we hit that age, right? But what I do know is that she was on a bunch of pills. I remember she worked out for a little bit, tried dieting for a little bit, and ended up with diabetes, and then that kind of made a slippery slope into everything else that's going on in her life right now. And it's making me wonder, not wonder, I know, at this point I know that most of that was menopause related. Most of that was perimenopause related, because when you go into perimenopause, you end up with insulin resistance. And if you have PCOS, which is polycystic something fibrosis, it's fibroids on the uterus, that makes it worse. And it's genetic. And I know I have it. And I wonder if she has it. And I've never asked her. And I don't even know if they even checked for it. Because women didn't talk to each other like that. And this is why we need to talk to everybody, really, at this point, because I think everybody needs to be educated. So in a way, it kind of makes me mad, because I'm seeing what's going on in myself, and I'm remembering what happened with my mom, and I'm like, they knew nothing back then. They either wrote you off, said you're just full of anxiety, which I'm pretty sure they did with my mom, because a friend of mine's mom is on a certain medication, which I had to look it up, and I was like, holy crap, that's what that's for. That's what my mom was on back then. Wow, okay. Yeah, no, we don't need anxiety medications. I mean, maybe, but we don't just willy-nilly pass off anxiety medications because you're perimenopausal. The hormones are going like this. Of course we're going to have anxiety. Hello? We need a hormone balance, which, thank God we have that now. So I'm just, I'm thinking about all these things, and I'm like, okay, we have the insulin resistance, like what I was saying before. And I know I have PCOS, which I didn't realize until way later, because it took me 2 years to lose 50 pounds on a calorie deficit and 2 hours a week away from being an athlete, because there's a certain amount of hours you got to work out every day to be considered an athlete. I was almost there, okay? Didn't realize until 10 years later it was because of PCOS and insulin resistance. That would have been nice to know when one day I woke up at like 36 years old, and all of a sudden I gained all my weight back and then some. Hello. And I didn't know I was going into freaking menopause, because every doctor I talked to, and I talked to like 3 at that time period, because I'd like to take care of myself and whatever, they're all like, oh, you're too young. Well, now we have the science to back up that shit starts at 34. We have been dismissed, and I am tired of it, and I'm so glad for social media that we are talking about this stuff, because it needs to be talked about, and I am angry. I'm angry because I saw what my mom went through, and there's a lot of stuff that I'm not going to talk about here that she went through, and I'm pretty sure it's because of that crap, and all they did was get dismissed. I'm mad. So anyway, it's just something that's on my mind, that I'm just glad that we've got at least 30% more research or something going on than what we had, 20, 30 years ago, because even though it's not enough, we have way more than we had back then. So let's just keep the conversation going, so that the next generation of women who are going through, and female presenting, who are going through this shit, doesn't have to go through what we went through. Because I know half of us got dismissed too until recently. So we need to get this out there. That's all I wanted to say. And, what I'm working on right now for myself, and I don't know if it's going to be enough, but, I've been hating my body since I was 11 years old. I have been on diet since I was 11. I don't have to eat the damn thing, and I can tell you exactly how many calories is something just by looking at it. That's not a flex. That's sad. It's sad, right? So what I'm trying to do for myself at this point is just make a truce with my body. I don't have to love my body. We need to have a truce. We go, you know what? We're just going to do this thing, and that's it. Because we can't keep fighting with ourselves, right? So I'm taking what I've learned and putting some of it into practice, because I have a lifestyle, and the lifestyle is going to lifestyle. That's just how it is, okay? So am I going to go back to the gym every single day? I'm not in that part of my life right now. Will it happen in the future? Yeah, maybe. Okay. But I've got weights. You've seen them on the floor. And every once in a while, I do some resistance training. So this is what I want to talk about is, more protein. If you're like me and you like to skip breakfast, try to get some calories with protein in there. So I always have my coffee with soy milk, so that's some calories, and that's protein. So is it enough? No, they say 30 grams. If you can do that, go for it. But don't start your day off with some oatmeal. That's some BS that I'm sure some lobbyists came up with. We don't want to do that. This is the latest research, and I will put actually the doctor that I've been watching down in the description, because she's one of those doctors that gave us bad information and then 180'd it and said, oh crap, I was that person. And she owns it, which is what I appreciate about her, is that she owns that she gave bad information to women during our age group and flipped the script. So I'm going to put that information down there. But you want to start with protein. You want to have resistance training. So not like 20, 30 reps with light weights. You want to do strong, heavy weights, less reps. That helps build the muscle, because as we get to the point where we're at perimenopause and start going into menopause, we start losing our lean muscles. So we need to try to get that back now while we can. Pilates is a good thing to do. Cardio is still good, but it's not going to get you where you want to go. You need to do the strength training. So I've been trying to work on that. And that's what I'm doing right now. And I'm trying to do less carbs, because I already see, because I have a sugar monitor, blood sugar monitor, and I used to have low blood sugar. Used to be like, I kid you not, for decades, 69, 70. That was my resting, my fasting. And it's gone all the way up to 122. And I'm like, what is going on? And I'm 100% sure it has everything to do with perimenopause, insulin resistance, because this has been the last few years. It hasn't been the whole time. So I feel like, because at the end it gets worse, from what I understand, I feel like my body's really fighting me now. So I'm like, okay, well, I'm really going to have to try to hone this in. I don't have all the answers. Nobody has all the answers. The doctors don't even have all the answers, but we have more answers than we used to. So this is what I'm doing for myself. So watch that doctor that I'm going to put in the description down below, and see if it'll help you or anybody that you know. Okay. Rant over. I just need to get that off my brain, because it's been making me mad. And glad at the same time that we have more information. But it just makes me mad that I had to watch my mom go through all that crap. So if you were wondering why your mom went through a whole bunch of crap back then, that's probably why. All right, let's get back to the knitting. Okay, so the agenda for today is, oh, let me show you my socks first. So this is the socks I was showing you last night. So those are done. I don't block anything that's vanilla. The only socks that I block are cabled and color work. So these are going to go straight into the box. That pink yarn that I wound up in my last vlog is now in my bag that goes out with me. And I forgot to split it, so I'm just going to work off of both ends of the cake. That should be fine, because I'm not doing anything fancy with those pairs of socks. So the agenda for today, I'm really cut off. Anyway, the agenda for today is to finish this square section on the Babette blanket. And this is what I mean about where some of the colors are just going to butt up against each other. It's just how it is. So that's how it is on this one. I only have a few more rows left of doing. This one's going to get, oh my God, bound off. And then I think what I'm going to do, because I don't want to work on this, but I really want to be done with this blanket by October. There is a small 8 square, so it's like maybe twice the size of this. No, 3 times the size of this. And I'm probably going to work on that, be done with it for a little bit, back burner this project, and then I would like to pick up, add my second skein of yarn to my Beccs cardigan. That's backwards. Get that going. And then if I can do that today, I should be able to separate the sleeves, put like the sleeve stitches on hold and start working the rest of the body. And then at that point, I'll know, unfortunately, whether or not I'll have to rip everything back. I'm hoping I mathed right. Usually I do. So I'm hoping I did it right and I don't have to rip anything back. But I'm going to try to work on that today, if I have time. So And I keep saying I'm going to start my son's socks, and I haven't done that yet. I mean, his birthday's in December. Christmas is in December. And I don't combine gifts. So he'll either get it for his birthday or for Christmas anyway. So I do have time on those. I just would like to get it done. You know what I mean? All right, so let me get started. I look a mess. I don't care. It is what it is. I got a lot of knitting. I got a lot of knitting done today. I am not drunk. I am drinking wine, but it is my first glass. But anyway, I finished the squares I was going to do today on the Babette blanket, and had some house things to do and whatever. But I have added my second ball of yarn to my Beccs cardigan by Isabell Kraemer, and I'm working on that. Finally had enough, really. I probably should have done this a while ago while I was worried about the size and stuff, but took my gauge. I know I need 12 inches for the arm, because like I said, I have to modify my arms on everything that I knit. So I know I need 12 inches. I am at 10 and a half. It's 8 o'clock, and I'm tired, and I had a long day, and a somewhat draining conversation with my mom. We have a good relationship. It was a draining conversation, so I think that took some wind out of my sails today too. But yeah, I'm finally working on this cardigan. So I think it's definitely going to take me another couple of inches before I can separate. So that's not going to happen until like the middle of the week. So I'm going to get back to this and watch my podcast. Right now I'm watching Knit All the Yarn podcast. And if I find a podcast that I like, I usually go back to the beginning and start watching from the beginning, and then just kind of binge a little bit. So yeah, how many years back is this? 7 years ago. So it's a lot of backtracking that I'm doing. But yeah, anyway, so I'm gonna get back to what I was doing, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye. I am on my way to a coffee shop to hang out for a couple hours and knit. Just Love is a chain that came out of Nashville, but I think they're in the surrounding areas. I know they are in Georgia, so you may or may not have heard of them. But I'm going to the one out in Nolensville. Today is August 10. I misspoke yesterday when I said it was the 8th. It was the 9th. Anyway, let's get going. All right, so I don't like the shawl collar part. It seems like it sits weird. Armholes look good. Oops, you can't see what I'm doing. Armholes look good, from what I can tell. Yeah. So I'm gonna keep going. I just don't know what to do about this bulkiness of the shawl collar. Maybe that will settle down as I knit more and there's more weight on the cardigan, I'm thinking. Because everything else seems to fit just fine. I do have a feeling I'm not getting that oversized that I was going for. I feel like it's gonna just fit just right, and not be oversized, which kind of a bummer, but at least it'll be a functional garment. So I will check in on this later with you. Probably not this vlog because it's gonna be a while before I get anything substantial, but yeah, I think that's where we're at. Okay, the lighting is crap, but do you see what I did here? Can you see the difference between here and here? My increases here have made this line. The increases were supposed to be here and not here. The starting of this pattern is so effing confusing because it's old. Isabell Kraemer doesn't write like this anymore, and this pattern's from 2013, and it was really hard to like understand what the F was going on over here to start this up. So here's the thing. I don't have any knitting friends, so nobody's going to notice that I can think of. So my only choices are to keep it or frog the whole thing. And I don't know if I want to frog 20 hours of knitting just to get back over here for this. So I don't know what to do. Part of me almost wants to drop all the way down, but I feel like that's not a good idea. Can it be done? Probably. Do I want to do that? No, not really. I mean, I'm almost done, I think, where I don't even have to do this anymore. I have to look at the pattern. Yeah, okay, basically I'm done since I'm at the arms. So now it's just what's going on here and here, which honestly, that looks the same. It's just this section here. It's just this section here. Ah! Black yarn and bad lighting. So, damn it. I don't know what to do. I think I'm going to leave it. I think that the likelihood of anybody who's going to notice is going to be so low in my life that it doesn't even matter. Yeah. Can't even call it a design feature. It's definitely a flaw. And I guess maybe a story to tell about how difficult the beginning of this pattern is to understand. That's a pity. But yeah, I really don't want to rip that back. So I guess I'm just going to keep going. It just really bugs me because I knew something was wrong in that area. I looked at it over the course of knitting it at least 3 or 4 times, trying to figure out, and it just wasn't registering in my head what was wrong. And of course, now that I've split for sleeves, I notice. I knew something wasn't right, but I think I'm just going to stick with it. So, got a lot of reflection going on here. So, yeah, I think I'm just going to stick with it. I think in a year, I won't even notice anymore anyway, so it doesn't matter. But I'm definitely going to notice it for a while. So, oh well. What are you going to do? I'm so frustrated right now. Like, I'm like this close to crying. Not here, but here. So I did another couple of rows and tried this on, and I realized that I overcompensated for the arms. I think I over modified this between yarn and sizing and everything. These armholes are like 2 inches too big for the rest of the size of the cardigan for I think how it's going to turn out. So it's like the easiest thing to do would be to take it out of here on the body, but the biggest problem is up here on the upper arm. So if I rip back, the thing is that I'm gonna have to go almost, well, see, I don't know where to rip back. That's the problem. And this is all black, so you're not gonna be able to see what the hell I'm doing. But the armhole starts here, right? You can you can't see shit. All right, so anyway, and this is just so fucking fiddly. Oh my God. Anyway, swear words, don't have your kids around me. All right, so, oh my God, this is ridiculous. I can't even show you. Yeah, let me put my arm in here or something, I don't know. So, it's like, you see this? Like, this is not really an exaggeration, and I just feel like it's just 2 inches too big. So I could rip back like 3 inches, I think, and be okay. I'll have to keep increasing on the back part of the cardigan though, because I'm gonna lose my spacing back there. which that would be okay. I could do that. My other problem is if I rip back 3 inches, trying to figure out where I am on the cable, if you can even see it, that's going to be a pain. Won't be too hard, but it'll be a pain because the cables, the stitches go like this, and then you have to fix it while you're knitting, because trying to pick it up, it's always going to be wonky. At least for me, it's always wonky. So I think that might be the best option. It's either that or I just rip it all the way back to the beginning because of that front issue that's still bothering me. If I didn't pay for this damn pattern, it wouldn't be a big deal, but I paid for this and it's been sitting for like 4 years and I just want to do it, you know, and I need a cardigan and I was not expecting to have this many problems. And I think that even if I had the right size of weight of yarn, I'd still have these problems. So I think this is what I'm gonna do. It's a good thing I've got enough yarn to pick up all these stitches because, yeah. But trying to figure out where to pick up in the cable section is gonna be the biggest battle. Everything else won't be too hard. So I guess it's time for a frog party. Ribbit, 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 ribbit. All right, here we go. Okay, as I was picking up stitches, I was just thinking to myself, maybe we can drop down just the stitches in the arm. I think I can do that. Would it be a pain? Yes, but it would be less of a pain and take less time than ripping everything back and then trying to do this. So, I mean, if you can rip back, if you can drop down and fix cables, you can drop down and fix stockinette, right? So I'm thinking, I don't know how I'm going to stop this part. I guess it'd be the same thing, just put a, oh my God, you can't even see what I'm doing. Thinking put a progress keeper here and there, kind of like when you're doing an afterthought heel, you're stopping it on the sides and then you just drop, like, and then the difference would be you're just dropping everything down to where you need to go. And actually it's just like an afterthought heel. You put the yarn in and then but the difference is I'm going to rip all this out. So I'll have all these strings everywhere. So the hardest part will be keeping up with which row is for what string that's in the back, knit everything, and then go back and forth doing my increases where I need to. And actually I don't need to doing more increases, that's why I'm ripping back, duh. So I will have some extra yarn in the back, but I think that might be better than me frogging the whole thing. I'm so frustrated right now. But I think that would probably be the best thing. I am really putting my my knitting knowledge to use with this cardigan, I'm telling you. Goodness gracious. All right, so we're going to try that. There's just bad lighting everywhere tonight. Sorry. That's just how it is. I don't have a ring light. Not going to get one. There's not enough people following to bother. So, I tried ripping back the armhole and I just got fed up. Mostly because I'm hot, irritable. Hot, irritable. It's late. I don't want to deal with it. But I'm trying to talk myself into remembering that it's knitting. It's not that deep. This is not the first time I've had to frog anything back, and it won't be the last. And it's okay. So, tomorrow, when I'm done doing my house chores and etc., I think I'm just going to go ahead and put progress keepers where my increases and decreases are for the front and for the armholes and stuff, and just rip everything back and start over. Because I think I'd rather, because it's just bothering me already with the front. And then the armholes I over modified and added 2 inches extra that I didn't need to add. And the whole thing's just frustrating me. So I think it's better to stop here than it is to knit the whole thing and then just not be happy with it. So I'd rather sacrifice the knitting here than be pissed about the whole thing later and then never wear the garment. And that's really what we have to remember is when we're at this point, and most of us are going to get to this point when we're knitting garments, that it's better to just rip it out and start over or do a different project than to knit the whole thing, put all that time and investment into it, and then never wear the thing because it didn't turn out the way you wanted to. So that's something we have to remember. And once we get that into our heads, we're fine. At least for me, once I get that into my head, I'm fine. So I'm just telling myself it's not that deep. It's just knitting. The cardigan will get there because once you get all the increases and stuff done, it's just easy breezy. You know, it's just stockinette all the way. And, you know, it's probably take me like 2 weeks of knitting once I get past the armhole point. Because I don't have that many whips right now. So, because I'm back burnering those blankets for at least another week or so. So if I can get through this, then it'll be fine. But it's just frustrating me, and like I said, I'm hot and I'm irritable, and like it's just, so I'm just gonna rip the whole thing out and just start over, and it'll be okay, because at least now I got the pattern in my head, so that in itself will make it go faster. So that's what I'm gonna do. So right now what I decided to do is finally cast on my other son's socks. And I feel so much better about it right now. So I have my glass of wine and I'm starting those socks, and I'm gonna work on the cardigan tomorrow, and yeah, that's where we'll be at. So anyway, the joys and the sorrows of knitting, right? Am I right? All right, I'll see y'all in the morning. Bye. All right, it's daytime, better lighting. I ripped back. I was gonna rip back to here because I pulled out, I think this is the arm I pulled out. Yeah. I pulled out a bunch of rows because I was like out here and tried to pick it up and it just wasn't working for me, and I just said forget it, went to sleep. So hopefully I didn't scare anybody last night with my ranting, but I was just very irritated and overheated, and summer needs to be over and perimenopause needs to be over. Anyway, so I ripped back. Here's my ball of yarn. And what I did was I pretty much just went back to where I was going to pick up anyway. So I'm still going to keep this mistake that's going on in the front. This is actually the correct side. The other side is the side that's wrong. I'm just going to keep it. It's not going to be that noticeable because most people aren't going to be paying attention. And I'm going to do less increases. I'm still going to modify, so I still have to modify, but I think I over modified on the arm. So I'm just going to do less, and that way I can pick up a little bit less on the body too, and go from there. So yeah, that's the thing for today. Okay, so I figured out the shawl collar part. Basically what I'm doing is I'm just folding it over, and that seems to make everything sit way better. Stitches underneath the arms are bunched up, but if I weren't having everything on the cable needle, or knitting needle rather, I feel like the arms are way better. So I feel good about that. The front's going to be the front, like I said. But overall, I'm glad I ripped back those few inches. Didn't have to go all the way up here to rip back. So I only had to like basically reknit an hour and a half worth of work. So everything's going pretty well. So now that I'm on the body, it's just smooth sailing. Just pick up the arms, and arms are stockinette, and then I-cord bind offs. That's it. So yeah, maybe a couple weeks I'll be done with this. That'd be great. I think I forgot to tell you that today is August 11th. So it is 6 o'clock. I had a normal sized lunch, but I haven't really been hungry lately, so I've just kind of been eating one normal meal, my coffee that I have soy milk in, Tonight's dinner is popcorn. I'm not eating this big ass bowl of popcorn, just so you know. I split it. So, like, part of it's my dinner and then part of it's my breakfast the next day. Then, goodness. Then I've got my water that I'm finishing because I try to be a good girl. And my wine. And do I have wine almost every night? Yes. It is what it is. Don't come at me. We all got our vices. And my diet is such that, like, not diet as in I'm dieting. My diet is in, like, what I can eat and what I can't eat is such that literally the only vices I have left in life is popcorn and wine. So have some grace. All right. I will see you later. It is late afternoon, August 12th, and I think unfortunately I'm going to have to end the vlog here kind of abruptly. I've had a very frustrating last couple of days, and you guys don't want to see me vlog about being frustrated and irritated, and yeah, it's just been very stressful. I have a lot going on right now. So I'm just going to end it here while the going's still decent. Everything's going fine with my cardigan now, and I am almost to the middle of the foot with my son's socks. Almost to the middle of my son's socks. And yeah, so I will update you end of the month, beginning of September. I think I'm going to end the vlog here too. Like I said, I got a lot going on right now, and I'm just really stressed out. So anyway, enjoy whatever Vlogusts are out there. There's not that many. I know Skander is doing one. That's the only one I've seen. So I don't know. But yeah, I'll be back in a few weeks with some updates, and hopefully things will have smoothed over by then. And I'll talk to you then. All right, take care. Bye.